how's it going? Welcome back to my channel, Gardening in Cold Spring Harbor. I'm in Long Island, New York, Zone 7A. I hope everyone is staying warm and well. In today's video, I wanted to talk about Amaryllis aftercare. What to do with your Amaryllis plant, Amaryllis bulb, after it is done blooming. After the blooms start to fade. So for those of you looking for that online gardening channel that offers tips, tricks, easy, proven gardening advice to take your home garden to the next level. Don't go anywhere, guys. Stick around with me today. Start with going below this video and clicking the subscribe button. For those of you who are enjoying the content of my gardening videos and want to get notifications from YouTube every single time I'll upload a new gardening video, click the bell icon as well. You will get notifications every single time I'll upload a new garden video. Now let's get gardening. Over here, I have just some of my beautiful Amaryllis plants. And as you could see for yourself, they're all in different stages of growth and bloom. Some are done blooming, like this beauty over here, this beauty over here. Some are in full bloom. Take a look at this stunner. Isn't this absolutely gorgeous? Some have just started to come up, started to set their flower bulb, like this beauty over here. This stunner over here has just started to open up for me. And this variety is called the Double Dream variety. As I have said in my previous Amaryllis video, where I show you guys how to place your Amaryllis bulbs into its dormancy phase, how to correctly pull them out of their dormancy phase, and how to pot them for maximal growth and blooming success. I will link this video up above for those of you who are interested in checking it out as well, as it's still available on my garden channel, Gardening in Cold Spring Harbor. Just because you plant your Amaryllis bulbs same day and same time does not mean that they're all going to grow and bloom at the same rate and at the same time. It all depends on the Amaryllis bulb varieties. Some come up, grow and bloom faster, and some just much slower. And it's okay, guys, because this way you will have continuous blooms all winter season long. Here I have two of my Amaryllis varieties that are done blooming, and you could see that for yourselves. The flowers are spent. Now this is the Black Pearl Amaryllis variety. I am so excited, guys, because look how many flowers it gave me. It gave me 4 beautiful flowers on one stalk, and the flowers were beautiful, deep burgundy color, and the blooms were huge. I was so happy and so impressed. This Amaryllis is called the Naranja variety. This bulb gave me 3 flower stalks, one over here, one over here, and then there is one that is still closed, and it's going to open up and bloom for me in the next few days. So I got 3 flower stalks from one Amaryllis bulb, and each of the stalks had between 4 to 5 huge pink flowers. Now, what do you do when your Amaryllis plant is completely done blooming? We're going to use my Amaryllis Naranja variety for this example. Say you have a stalk with 5 flowers on it, and only 1 or 2 flowers out of those 4 or 5 have faded. What do you do in that instance? You want to cut off those few faded blooms. Why? Because you don't want the plant to send that energy into those done spent blooms. We want the mother plant to focus her energy on producing more beautiful flower stalks for us. We want to focus that energy on the still existing blooming blooms. So what do? Say you only have 1 or 2 spent flowers. You're going to use pruning shears or scissors, and you're going to cut them off right here, right below this little knob. You're going to prune right here. 1. Say you have another spent bloom. I'm going to show you one more time. You're going to go below this little knob, and I'll tell you guys in a second what this little knob is. And you're just going to prune off the spent bloom. You leave any remaining intact flowers or blooms. Let them continue blooming. So now, what are these knobs right below the flowers, the blooms? These are actually seed pockets. So once our amaryllis flower is done blooming, the mother plant will send all the energy into producing seeds. And the amaryllis seeds are stored in these knobs, these pockets below the flowers. So by cutting right below this knob, we are telling the mother plant to send the energy back to the bulb and then back up into producing and upkeeping those still fresh blooms. Now, say the entire plant faded and stopped blooming, such as this black pearl variety. What do you do in that instance? Where do you cut? Do you cut it all? Do you leave it alone? Yes, guys, you should still cut. But this time, we do not cut at the bloom level. No, since the entire stem is done blooming, no reason to save it. We're wasting the bulb's energy on something that's no longer viable. So where do you cut? Let me show you. You cut right below here, right above the neck of your bulb. So here is our bulb. Again, it's about 1/3 way exposed above the soil surface. This little piece is called the neck of the bulb. So you want to cut right above the neck. And yes, we're going to cut off the entire flower stem like so. Oh, like that. Perfect. Now, if you have lots of beautiful green foliage, say your amaryllis bulb looks like this. That is pretty. That is beautiful. You want to leave this foliage alone unless it's yellowing for whatever reason. If you have only 1 or 2 leaves left, such as this one over here, you want to cut this leaf off as well, right above the neck, right where you cut off the flower stalk. So now you're going to have your flower stalk. You're going to have any of that foliage that was either yellowing or just flimsy, falling over, and you will throw these out. You will discard of them. What do you do with your flower bulb now, with your amaryllis bulb? What I do is I treat it as a regular house plant throughout the entire year. During the winter months, I keep it inside indoors. And during the warmer months, which is late spring, summer, I keep it outside. Again, guys, I live in zone 7A, where we have cooler, colder winters. Amaryllis is only cold hardy in zones 9 through 11. So for those of you living in zones 9 and above, you guys are pretty lucky, I must say. In fact, you can even grow your amaryllis, these beautiful stunners, outside in the ground all year long. So this is my Amaryllis Naranja variety. And as you could see, it produced 3 beautiful flower stalks for me, 2 out of which are done blooming. I still have 1 stalk that is up, alive, and didn't even open up just yet. So what do you do in this instance? In this instance, we want to remove the 2 spent stalks and of course leave the one that still has to open up and bloom for us. So the process is the same. We're going to go right over here, right below the neck. Again, there's the bulb. This little piece over here, it's called the neck. And we're going to cut off only the spent flower stalks. Like that. And you might see some liquid dripping out of the stalk. That is absolutely fine, guys. That is exactly what happens to Amaryllis stalk. They do have a lot of moisture, a lot of liquid inside. As let me show you how hollow the stalks are. There's a large hole and they do produce a lot of moisture, a lot of liquid inside these stalks. So don't get alarmed, don't get worried. I'm going to do exactly the same thing with the second spent stalk. I'm going to cut it right below the neck. Very carefully. We do not want to damage it. Once again, look at all this moisture that's coming right out of that flower stalk. Nothing wrong with that. We're going to leave the remaining flower stalk intact, of course, with appropriate supports. You can vary your supports depending, of course, on the size of your Amaryllis bulb, on the height of your stems, etc. This one is a taller Amaryllis variety, so I do have to use a taller stalk to support the stems. Here, this one, you can see it's a bit shorter, so I was able to use a wooden stick, a regular skewer stick that you can purchase in any supermarket, and I used beautiful tie. This is a regular meat cooking string that I use, to tie my meat before cooking, and twine. So I used this twine and I tied it in a beautiful decorative bow. And this is just fine because again, it's a smaller bulb and you could see for yourself. And this particular variety does just fine being with a smaller, shorter support. Now, throughout the year, you want to still water your Amaryllis bulbs consistently. I say about once a week. You do want to water more often during the hotter, warmer summer months. Now that you cut off the stems from the spent flowers, as well as maybe some or all of the foliage, many of you might be asking, now what? What will happen to my Amaryllis bulb throughout the year? Nothing, guys. Your Amaryllis bulb will continue to grow beautiful green foliage like I have over here. And you can keep your Amaryllis bulb inside your home as a house plant. I like to keep my Amaryllis inside indoors in the brightest, sunniest location that I can find. I keep my Amaryllis bulbs either in my green room or in my home office. They love it there, they grow beautifully, and they thrive. I water my Amaryllis bulbs about once a week throughout the year. During the warmer, hotter month, I check the soil for moisture. Sometimes I have to water about twice a week. You do want to fertilize your Amaryllis bulbs throughout the year. You want to encourage that beautiful green growth, the foliage growth. Now, Amaryllis will do best with morning sun and afternoon shade. You do not want to give it too much direct sunlight. Indirect sunlight in the morning hours will do wonders for your Amaryllis bulbs. Now, guys, if you are planning to rebloom your Amaryllis bulbs next year, just in time for the Christmas holiday, there are a few steps which you will have to take. First week of September, if you've been keeping your Amaryllis bulb outside, you do want to bring your Amaryllis bulb inside. And you will need to take a few steps to prepare your Amaryllis bulb for something called a dormancy phase. Dormancy phase takes anywhere between 6 to 8 weeks. That's when your Amaryllis bulb rests, goes into a long, deep sleeping cycle. You must keep your Amaryllis bulbs in a dark, cooler location for those 6 to 8 weeks. The longer, the better. Where can you keep your Amaryllis bulb during the dormancy phase? In your garage, in a cellar, in a boiler room, in a shed. The temperature should be around 50 to 55 degrees Fahrenheit. Absolutely no sunlight. And you do not water your Amaryllis bulbs. In fact, you don't touch them at all throughout the entire dormancy period. Sometime around the 1st to 2nd week of November, you want to pull out your Amaryllis bulbs out of the dormancy phase. You want to water them once again thoroughly. I water enough that the excess water will run out into the saucer or a tray. I drain excess moisture out of that tray, and I place my Amaryllis bulb back to its usual growing location. Again, in direct, bright sunlight. You start fertilizing once again on a regular basis, and your Amaryllis bulb, 100% I guarantee you guys, will start waking up, will start growing its foliage once again, and soon after, you're going to see beautiful flower stalks start to come up, the flower bud will start to form, and you will see your Amaryllis bulb bloom for you once again, just in time for Christmas holiday. One more note, guys, before we end this video. If for whatever reason you do not see anything grow out of your bulb, no foliage, no stalk, nothing, say it's been 2 weeks and absolutely no growth, what should you do? You should take your Amaryllis bulb and squeeze right over here, right above the bulb, yet below the stem, and this neck area, you squeeze gently. What are you trying to feel for? You want this neck area to be stiff, hard to the touch, firm to the touch. It should never be soft, it should never be mushy, it should never be hollow. Any of those signs are a bad sign. That's an indication that unfortunately your Amaryllis bulbs has rotted out during its dormancy phase. And you know what? It's okay, guys. Don't blame yourselves. Things like that happen. Now, if your Amaryllis bulb will only continue to grow green foliage, no flower stalks, no flower blooms that year, don't blame yourselves. Don't despair. I have it happen to me sometimes as well. Not all Amaryllis bulb varieties have that power in them to bloom year after year after year. Sometimes some varieties do tend to skip a year. Keep them as a house plant that year, treat them as a house plant, and then go through that same dormancy cycle next fall. And chances are the following year it'll bloom for you once again. Never ever toss out your Amaryllis bulbs, as they are beautiful perennials. This is it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for joining me here in Long Island, New York, Zone 7A. In today's video, we spoke about Amaryllis aftercare. I gave you step-by-step, easy yet proven instructions on what you can and should do with your Amaryllis bulbs after they are done blooming. If you follow my easy yet proven gardening instructions and steps, I guarantee you your Amaryllis bulb will thrive the entire year and will rebloom for you once again come next Christmas holiday. Be healthy, be happy, be well, each and every single one of you. If you like the content of today's video, show me that support by clicking thumbs up below. Leave your comments in the comment section as well. I love reading each and every single one of your comments, and I personally respond to each and every single one of you. If you haven't yet subscribed to my gardening channel, Gardening Cold Spring Harbor, don't wait any longer, guys. Super easy for you to do, yet super pleasing and rewarding to me. Go below this video, click the subscribe button. If you are enjoying the content of my videos, click the bell icon as well. You will get notifications from YouTube every single time I upload a new gardening video. Happy gardening, guys, and I'll see you again in my new upcoming gardening videos. Bye, guys.